the Crusaders. In fact, I've got to say that this has probably been one of their worst seasons, if not their worst season ever. It's certainly up there, and for quite some time. But even the Blues are doing better than them, and this has been a real ho-hum season for the Blues. So yeah, I don't know what to say, man. What do you reckon?
Yeah, well, Blues fans will be hoping, and expecting a lot more from their team because, as I said, there's a lot of talent in their side, and you think under their new coach, McDonald, they start to sort of show progress, and they are showing signs. But we've seen that in so many other seasons that they can take a few big scalps and then come back and get totally humiliated. But yeah, I don't know. They're starting to sort of read from the same play sheet as my Chiefs. I think they can be rather inconsistent at times, and I don't know what it is with the Waikato boys, but yeah, it's like they're lacking or losing or missing a bit of heart in their games. It's like they're just going through the motions, which is really sad because they need to get that sort of that spring in their step like what Canterbury has. Actually, all the teams have to, all the New Zealand teams in particular, if they want to sort of, try and do well and end the season on a better than average note.
The Hurricanes, my Hurricanes, they go away to play the Sharks. It's going to be a tough game for the Hurricanes, I reckon, but I think that they can still certainly do it. Sharks are kind of languishing at the bottom, well, actually more mid-table. They're still a good team, and they are at home. What do you reckon?
Yeah, and that's where you find a lot of sides tend to sort of, come out and have that nothing to lose attitude. And if they can sort of take a few wins before the end of the season, well, that puts them in good speed for next year. But the Hurricanes, I think, they'll sort of want to end the season, on a good note for their fans, such as yourself, Keithy. But yeah, they may well feel the shark bite in their game, but we'll see. The Hurricanes are another team that sort of can show form when they want to and then, totally capitulate the next minute. But it will depend on them. I think, they've got enough key players there to sort of make that difference and hopefully take a win away from you, Giddy.
Oh, hopefully not.
Yeah.
Queen's birthday weekend. It's always a big weekend on the coast here for two particular teams. Now, JT, your favourite rugby team, Ngāti Porou East Coast, they have their traditional game against Poverty Bay, which will be played today up there at Whakarua Park in Ruatoria. And I've got no doubt that the East Coast team will be taking a bit of extra into that game, JT, especially, with the loss of Horace Lewis just, a couple of months ago. So they'll be taking a bit of extra ihi and wehi into that game, What do you reckon?
Well, let's hope so, Keith. We've all got connected coast, the three of us, so, look, I'm a leaguey through and through, but there is a couple of rugby union teams that I always support and always have in my heart, and Ngāti Porou East Coast is at the top of that list. So always a traditional battle. This one, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not for competition points. It's just like a pre-hit out. But doesn't matter. The East Coast can play Poverty Bay and Marbles. Still go for the coast. So yeah, let's just hope that they can lift and find something deep within for Horace and for all the people up the coast. It's been a lean couple of years for the East Coast rugby side, and let's hope that this year they can turn the corner.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think they've got a team that's kind of coming together at the moment. But having said that, Poverty Bay, they've been holding almost trial games with this. They had about 2 or 3 weeks ago. They had what would be termed a trial game with that city country game, so it's going to be a tough ask, even at home for East Coast. What do you reckon, Ra?
Yeah, and there's these games. There's that rivalry that only a few clubs and teams ever only have, and this is one of the big ones for our part of the world, and they're real spectacle matches, no matter who wins, and it's always quite tough. It's like that Civil War kind of concept, brother against brother, whānau against whānau. So I'm going to put my money on the Reds. I played junior rugby for both provinces, and it was always hard when I played for the Bay. My cousins in the coastside would try and kill me and vice versa. So, my heart's in both camps, and they're always spectacles to watch. But I'm going to go with the Reds this time. I suppose you're going to go with the Blues there, Keithy?
Of course.
You and JT going with the Blues, and dare I say it, only in Union, not in League.
Fair enough. But it should be a good game, JT, up there in Whakarua Park?
Yeah, no doubt. Uncle Hironi Parats will have the cheer squad out there and giving him some encouragement from the sideline, or as has happened in the past, from on the field. But yeah, look, mate, the Coasties, they always, it's like the Queensland, New South Wales mentality in East Coast Queensland in this equation. So, they'll rally the troops and get Pike here and various other East Coast anthems going on the sideline, and hopefully the boys can respond to that and get the win over Poverty Bay.
Right.
What a horrible name that is.
I agree. I totally agree with you there, actually, JT. Right, just real quick. Now, the signing of RJ Hampton, we talked about this on Wednesday there, by the New Zealand Breakers. They've got this new boy straight out of high school. He's one of the top prospects in the United States who could have gone on to a bunch of the Tier 1 basketball teams or basketball universities over there in the States. He's decided to come here. Just kind of mind-boggling, quite frankly. What do you reckon there,
Yeah, I heard a little rumour that now true it is. As you said, at his young age, that he's only he doesn't want to face that burnout factor too early by playing in the big leagues over there. So, he's come this way just to get more of an affinity for the real, grassroots basketball sort of thing. Because, as you know, in the States, once you do hit that top tier, that's it. You're pretty much sort of inundated with, the professional code as a mammoth beast. And by coming this way, and I saw an interview with him, and he seems pretty level-headed and quite grounded. I think it's all part of his master plan, or whoever the agents are representing them. Just to sort of to even boost his price value up, which is rather risky because, if he gets injured down this way, he may have a longer recovery time to get back into the big leagues, which we know is always quite competitive. But I think it's a good ploy on his behalf. And, he's still young. He's got the world at his feet still. And as you say, a lot of people would think, wrong decision, bad move. But I think tactically speaking, I think it's probably going to benefit him in the long run. And, keep an eye on that name, because I think he could well go the distance and be one of the great ones that actually sort of, got to taste a bit of Kiwi basketball.
Possibly, yes, indeed. Right, and also staying with basketball, you'd be happy to see that the Toronto Raptors are wrapping up Game 1 against the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Final, which is a bit of a shock, I think, for a lot of the basketball experts out there, what do you reckon, Ra?
Oh, you're right, Kesey. They haven't done that justice for the bookies. I mean, it's I'm glad that the Canadian side has sort of tasted first blood. And you look at that Toronto side, they are actually like a United Nations mix-up of players, right down to their supporters. Yes. One of their biggest ones is the Punjabi dictator. Amazing, and that's what sport can do. It doesn't matter what your religion is, what your creed and colour is. It can bring you together to support your team. And man, I hope they go away, because it'll be huge in Canada. I mean, at the best of times, they love beating their neighbours, like how we like sort of destroying Australia in our case. But when it comes to NBA, it's big over there. And I hope the Raptors, they can maintain that form. It's going to be tough, day.
Yes.
It's going to be tough. The Americans are going to come back with all guns a-blazing, and they're not going to sort of lie down and just give it to the Toronto side. But no, I hope my money's on them. I hope they go the distance, Kiwi.
Well, they had no Kevin Durant. Hey, they had no Kevin Durant to this game. It's possible, or it's possible that he could indeed return in game 2. And I think if he does, he'll make a big difference, eh?
Oh, he will, and basketball, like so many other sporting codes, he has a couple of key players back, and you could well be sort of at the top end of it all. But as we've seen in B-ball, anything can happen, and that's why we watch it. I suppose it's a full-on sort of entertainment at its best, and no, either way, Kizzy, I'm still going for the Canadians.
JT, Cricket World Cup, of course, got started. Some big wins, I suppose. One of the biggest wins, obviously, England over South Africa, eh?
Yeah, that wasn't too unexpected, Keith. South Africa are in a bit of a hole at the moment in terms of their cricket. The cricketing side of the Proteas, and England won by 104 runs. And man of the match was Ben Stokes, his father. I need to happen. I remember his father's name, but Gerard Stokes is from Canada, and moved to the north of England, hoped up there, and that's where Ben was born. So you might see Ben sporting a moko on his arm.
Right.
But yeah, he was pulled off one of the best catches I've ever seen, actually, and it's been touted as probably the best catch of all time by the English. Funnily enough, the English are saying that they're going to win the tournament now, and it's only been one game in. So. Typical, mate. I think they had the song that's coming home for the Soccer World Cup last year, and you all know what happened there. It didn't go home, and nor the cricket one, hopefully not. And the second match, Pakistan were hammered by the West Indies. Pakistan bowled out for a paltry 105 and 21 overs.
Right.
And the Indies made 108 for 3 off only 13 overs. So Chris Gale knocked a few out of the park, and the West Indies marching on to that reggae beat.
Yes, indeed. New Zealand, of course, they play South Africa later on tonight, eh?
Sri Lanka, mate.
Sri Lanka, sorry. Sri Lanka, yes.
7:30 Queensland time, so 9:30 New Zealand time. And later on in the evening, Australia play the Afghanistan grenade throwers.
The Grenadiers.
Watch out for those guys. Right.
Oh, that reminds me of the Cool Runnings, eh? The boxing team from Jamaica or whatever. It's very much, kind of that.
They'll make a movie about the Afghanistan grenaders, do you reckon? I don't think so.
Quite possible. I wouldn't want to be standing in the outfield over there. You never know what's going to happen.
True indeed. Well, that wraps us up here on Full Time. Before we do go, of course, we've got to get on to my favourite part of the session, of course. The part where we get our angst, where we're able to get our angst out that has built up over the week. A part that we tend to call... Put the Boot In! My Put the Boot In is going out to these people that promote this New Zealand Music Month. Now, May just finished. Of course, we've gone into June as of today. May has just finished. And I know for a number of years, there have been these people that have been promoting New Zealand Music Month. May, New Zealand Music Month. And, which is incredible to me, all that this May Music Month is to help, I think, mainstream radio stations who play maybe one or two New Zealand songs during the day, if that they can play, well, the same one or two New Zealand songs per day, but this, because it's May Music Month, New Zealand Music Month, they're able to highlight that they play New Zealand music. Whereas when you go onto iwi radio, for instance, every month is New Zealand Music Month. So to the promoters of New Zealand Music Month, that's where my boot goes into. Put the boot in!
Yeah, well, my boot's going into politics and the leaking of the budget. Me personally, I think it's their hoots because news for you is that there's no money for anybody in this budget, so it really doesn't matter. But they make a mountain out of a molehill like it's the end of the world or something. But that's politics, so that's my boots.
Put the boot in!
Yeah, my boot goes into a movie that I went to see last night.